Welcome to Gotta Ping. I'm Mei Ping, the founder of Gotta Ping. As a next-gen leadership coach, I help high-performing young executives and entrepreneurs like you to navigate complex people and problems with top-notch communication and leadership skills to create sustained success. In today's podcast, I want to talk about what you need to fix in your resume as well as your LinkedIn profile if you're using that as your online resume. So as you guys know, I have been a director at Standard Chartered Bank for some time, and as part of my role, I was also the hiring manager for my team located in Singapore as well as my team located elsewhere. So one thing that I don't think people fully recognize is that the hiring manager or the HR team really only spends about 10 seconds reviewing your resume. Yeah, that's right, literally 10 seconds. Because most of the time, these people are busy, just like how I was really busy in the past. So when I receive a pack of 30 resumes from HR, I had to take time away from my day job and away from my priorities to review the profiles, right? So how much time do you think is allocated? Because, everyone's really busy, right? So it's really important that you understand that your resume needs to be written in a way that makes it easy to read for the HR person or even the hiring manager. I have seen so many fresh graduates get caught up in the incorrect advice that their resume template needs to be really fancy. And this is really not true. Because sometimes the fancier the fonts that are being used and the formats and the colors, it's really distracting. And aside from that, I think it displays a high level of immaturity, which is not what you want to get tagged to if you are a fresh graduate or relatively junior in your career. So this, I think, is one of the biggest mistakes. And I think a lack of awareness of this thing has kind of prompted a lot of job seekers to kind of get caught in the trap, especially when I see that, if you sign up for a resume course, I see people offering, 10, 20 design templates. Really, all these are really unnecessary. Just if you want to put in colors, right, keep it professional, maybe gray, a little bit of blue for the banners, and I think that's fine. So for these purposes of the podcast, I will use the LinkedIn profile as your online resume. So what I normally recommend my clients do is treat your LinkedIn profile as your online resume. So whatever that you're saying in your hard copy resume should not differ significantly from what you're writing in your profile. In fact, my recommendation, keep it 100% consistent. Because your LinkedIn profile can be accessible by pretty much anybody. If you set the settings right, and that's a separate discussion. It's a 24/7 resume. And I've also seen instances where, a person's resume, I received a person's candidate's resume, and I went to the candidate's LinkedIn, and it said something completely different. So to me, that kind of demonstrates a lack of conscientiousness, as well as maybe attention to detail, proactiveness. So you don't want to create confusion, because if a recruiter or a HR reaches out to you via LinkedIn and they say, hey, I'm really interested in your profile, can you send me your updated resume? And then you send them something completely different. It creates the impression of is this guy trying to waste my time, or is this lady wasting my time? Because that's what the HR people are doing, right? They're kind of scouting through all the profiles and scouting through hundreds of resumes a day. They want you to be as specific and as clear as possible. The other big mistake I see, and you absolutely need to fix that right now, is writing about. So when you share your experiences, I see a lot of people just writing about their job description. Okay, I'm responsible for A, B, C, D, E. Like, okay, yeah, we know. But what does that translate into value? So fine, you're doing all these activities and pretty much it's a task list, right? It's like, okay, as part of my job at this company, I was doing this 8 things. But the question is that what's the value? Okay, you have done all these things, right? But like, what does it mean in terms of what you can do for me? Because you're changing company. So I don't really care what you were doing at the previous company. But what I want to know is what are some of the skills that you can translate over and make and add value to my team or my department, right? Which is the new company. So I feel like I don't see a lot of skills being called out. It's just a list of like roles and responsibilities, which I think is not good enough. The other thing is around like value. So especially if you happen to be in sales and marketing, right? This is the perfect time to really talk about your KPIs. And what does the KPI mean? Like, is there a benchmark? Like, are you 10, 20% better? Because one of the things, like, I actually work with quite a number of accountants, and sometimes, like, when I look at their resume, I feel like they just give me a bunch of numbers, but I don't really know what this means. So if you want to put in a KPI, right, you want to put in a number to demonstrate your achievement, then what is it comparable against? Like, if you say 20%, like, is it good? Is it bad? Is it average? Is it a lot better? Like, it's really not clear. So I feel like these are really, really the big things that you need to fix in your resume. I would say way beyond your, grammatical errors and structural errors. And this could be some controversial advice, because if you ask anybody else out there, they might say that, oh, you need to have like perfect English, blah, blah, blah. I mean, English is the last check that you can do, but if your content in your resume is rubbish, then it doesn't really matter how good the English is. And one thing I used to tell people is that try to write the resume yourself, because if you don't write it yourself, then it's going to be very challenging for you to be able to articulate and share that when you are being interviewed. And I've also been in situations where when I interview the person, I ask them specific lines of what they've written in their resume, and they cannot actually explain that. So to me, that's a massive turnoff, because you should know what you have written and how you express it, and what were the experiences that could add value, what exactly did you do in this role, in this situation. So really take some time to think about what have you actually done in the role, and how have you helped your boss, your team member, how have you helped your department, and get that written down in your resume. So don't get caught up in the whole fluff of what other people are doing. Focus on yourself, right? So if you're a younger professional, sometimes I realize that, you like to ask your friends, oh, what do you think? Do you think I should write this and that? It's good to get some feedback, but number one, they are not experts. Number two, unless they have actually hired people in their role, they might be actually giving you the wrong advice, which is worse. Number three, it's much better to spend that time doing some internal reflection and really asking yourself, because if you have been doing the job and you have been doing your job very diligently, why aren't you able to express that, right? So make sure that you are clear and then write that down. And the last step, of course, you can ask for someone to check your English for you. So those are really the big ones. So when I work with my clients, either it's one-on-one or sometimes I also run group classes, I help them to reposition their roles and responsibilities. I think that's really the biggest issue. People don't know how to call out the value that they have added to their company or to the team. The other thing also is that the executive summary for most people's resumes that I've seen, whether when I was hiring in the past or even as a coach, is very, very weak, right? So executive summary is what someone will initially read, because it should be right on top, and that's the immediate impression somebody gets from you from the 4 to 5 sentences. So if you're not putting in this section, you are missing out massively. If you are putting in something but it's very poorly written, like, oh, hi, I'm so and so and I'm looking for a role in this and that, or, oh, I'm looking for a role to enhance my learning. I mean, those are really, really weak words, right? So focus on write a little bit about your education, write about your previous and past roles, and what actually gives you value, right? It's almost like a pitch, right? Why would the new company want to hire you? And if you can kind of squeeze that in the executive summary, then your resume will immediately be a winning one and way above other people's. So those are the, I would say, biggest things that you have to fix either in your physical copy, the hard copy resume, or on your LinkedIn profile where you are using it as a resume. So be really clear, be precise, have full knowledge and full clarity on your contributions and your value that you have added, even in your universities or your short years of working, and make sure that comes out very clearly. And lastly, do feel free to reach out to me. I am currently offering resume reviews as well as LinkedIn profile audits. So it's all via one-to-one. So I'll be able to provide you with personalized guidance on how you can better position your successes as well as your values so that you can get that step closer to your dream job. So till next time, bye. Thank you for joining me today. If we have not yet connected, I look forward to connecting with you. You can find me on my website, www.gottaping.com, on LinkedIn, as well as Facebook. The links to my profiles are in this episode's description box. I can't wait for you to join me in the next episode of my Gotta Ping podcast. Till next time, bye!